Namaste. Today I'm going to talk about Kashmir. As I've covered extensively the valley of Kashmir, you have to differentiate between Kashmir, Jammu, which has a majority of Hindu, a small majority though, but still Hindus are in majority in Jammu, Ladakh, which has a Buddhist majority. Most of Ladakhis are Buddhist, they're followers of the Dalai Lama, and the valley of Kashmir, which is Muslim dominated. But it was not always so. Kashmir, as some of you may know, was once upon a time, a highlight of Shivaism. Shivaism was born in Kashmir, and for the Hindus, Kashmir is a very sacred place. Every guru, every saint, every sadhu, every sannyasin went to Kashmir to meditate there or to do pilgrimages, like the famous pilgrimages with the ice lingayat, because it's a very sacred place for Hindus. But it was invaded, from the 15th century onwards, especially by the Mughals, people coming from Iran, from Afghanistan, and Hindus there and Buddhists were converted by force. As a result, though there were 1 million Hindus still in 1900 in the valley of Kashmir, today they're all gone. All the Hindus of Kashmir or the valley of Kashmir have become refugees in their own country. Now, as I said, I spent a lot of time in the valley of Kashmir, especially when militancy was at its height, when there was curfew all the time. Most of the journalists in those days were staying in one hotel. There was only one hotel open on the band which is near the Jhelum River, and we would get permits from the army to go out and report. What I have experienced in Kashmir among the Kashmiri Muslims of the valley of Kashmir, that most of them, from the shikara, from the boat driver on the Dal Lake, to the retired judges and the journalists, most of the Muslims of Kashmir do not like India. They want to separate from India. And this goes across, all castes and, all social classes. I do not think this has changed today. The government has the illusion that if you subsidize Kashmir and you call Kashmiris my brothers and sisters, as Mr. Modi did recently, it will placate them. But my feeling is that as long as Pakistan and India are separate, the problem of Kashmir will remain. Both the Kashmirs, the Kashmir in India and the Kashmir in Pakistan. Because this attraction to Islam is stronger. For most Muslims, whether they are Kashmiri Muslims or Indian Muslims, the first faithfulness is towards Islam, and the second toward their own country. The illogical part is that Kashmiri Muslims are all over India today. You can see them in Pune, in Delhi, everywhere. They control the souvenir trade. They're even in Pondicherry or in Aurobindo for that matter, where they pay higher rents, so they get the shops. They're friendly with the locals, and they control the souvenir trade. But if you're an Indian, you cannot go to Kashmir. You cannot invest in Kashmir. You cannot start a business. You cannot buy a house in Kashmir. So it's totally illogical. Thus, what Mr. Modi and Mr. Amit Shah just did to revoke Article 370 is something wonderful, but it's just, it had to be done. It had to be done. No other government had the courage to do it, but it had to be done because it was a total injustice that Kashmiris could come to India and do business in India while disliking India, while feeling that they're not Indians, and that Indians, who feel that they belong to India, they're proud to be Indians, cannot go to Kashmir. So this has been removed, and we must honor Mr. Modi and Mr. Shah for having the courage to have done that. Nevertheless, the problem is not finished. The valley of Kashmir will remain a valley of, unrest and violence, because the Kashmiri Muslims feel they do not belong to India, and this is not going to change. This is not going to change. For sure, I can guarantee that. The only solution, as Shri Aurobindo has said in 1947, is that Pakistan and India come together again, whether it is by force because Pakistan is imploding, its economy is bankrupt, or is it willingly, as the two Germanys came together, or the two Koreas will eventually come together, a reunion. At that time, the Kashmiri problem will cease, but not before. Namaste.